I'm here with my dog, my teammate. I'm super hyped to have my girl here. Two-time WNBA All-Star, Kelsey Mitchell. What's good with it?
What's up, gang?
A little bit about yourself. Kelsey Mitchell's journey with the Indiana Fever has been anything but easy over the past 7 years. 4 coaches and an apparently never-ending playoff drought. However, everything changed during the 2024 season. I'm a Midwestern girl born in Cincinnati, Ohio, 513. It's difficult to leave my hometown because it's so small and you get what you get. It's a densely populated city that's not as like Miami or Atlanta. So you kind of get what you get. I grew up surrounded by my family because I come from a family dynamic of just sports. My dad attended school to play football, and my mom attended Eastern Kentucky. Parents to your parents, kudos to your parents. In an open interview with teammate Erica Wheeler that has the basketball world in a frenzy, Mitchell opens up about her turbulent career and the spark that has sparked the Fever's resurgence. From the pain she endured the previous season to the highs of being a WNBA All-Star to her true feelings for Caitlin Clark and the fans, Kelsey isn't holding back. Are you ready to hear how one player's arrival changed not just a team, but Mitchell's entire perspective on the game? Let's Go Basketball was just a safe haven, so I kind of took it from there, just used what I knew about it, and that's how I knew what my lifestyle was just through hoop. I had friends through hoop. You kind of gain a lifestyle and the rest was kind of history. As you can see, I was always a homebody, but I knew I wanted to move to Cincinnati, so I kind of chose to become a Buckeye. Imagine this, you're Kelsey Mitchell, the second overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, and you're ready to lead your team to glory and light up the league, but instead of championship parades, you're hit with a flurry of losses. That was Kelsey's reality for years with the Indiana Fever. You and Eve have been here for a number of years, right? And I've been through the difficult years. You've got to work hard. You know what? You're at 7 years. When Mitchell first came to Indiana, she was full of promise and potential. The Fever had high hopes for their new star, but they had no idea the challenges that lay ahead as the seasons rolled by. The Fever missed the playoffs not just once or twice, but for 7 straight seasons. One season was so bad that they only managed to win 5 games. You've never been to another team, girl, for 7 years, and how many years? I was here from 2015 to wait. Don't count my age right now on TV. Don't do that. Don't treat me like that. From 2018 to 2023, Mitchell's individual talent shone through like a beacon in the darkness. She wasn't just good, she was consistently great. Her average of over 16 points per game isn't just a hot streak, that's half a decade of elite scoring for the first 2 and first 3 years. To put it simply, you don't have to tell me a long story. I was there for 2 of them, so then we can kind of skip through and get to where you are now. However, for a long time, Mitchell, the competitor, began to doubt her future in Indiana. The points were piling up, the accolades were coming in, but in her own words, something was missing. Were the points, the accolades were accolades, but it wasn't enough. That team winning team, not individual team. You could sense the desire for collective success in those words. Well, let me just say that during my 7 years in the NBA, I had 4 head coaches. So that in and of itself was kind of like, no one really knows what an experience of like the black stick at the bottom. Trust me, I've been there, trust me. So I was, that's really how it started. Now, let's talk about stability or the lack thereof. Imagine attempting to build a championship contender when the architect keeps changing. That's exactly what Mitchell and the Fever faced for head coaches in 7 years. 4 different voices, 4 different systems, and 4 different visions. How do you find your footing when the ground keeps shifting beneath you? When you all left, it was still a rebuild stage, so different coaches were hired, and I think that at that point, we were trying to figure out whether I would continue to swim or sink, and to be honest, I didn't know how my career would turn out because the points were the points, the accolades were accolades, but it wasn't enough. The winning team, not individual team, and anybody who wants to compete and win knows that it's about the team. Lesser players might have asked for a trade or allowed their work to slip, but Mitchell's work ethic became legendary within the organization. She was frequently the first player in the gym and the last to leave. Day after day, loss after loss, Mitchell persisted in pushing, striving, and believing. As the losses mounted, Mitchell's determination made a decision that would define her career. She chose to be part of the solution. It's one thing to stay in the organization when things are going well, but it's rare and regrettable that she was given the opportunity to do so. It's a different ball game every time you get a new coach because you have to build that relationship with that coach, even though they know who you are and the players they have in the locker room. I was definitely in survival mode and I put my back against the wall. So what everyone sees now is that I've always been a fighter, you know, and I've always kind of had to compete and find a different way to, you know, and in 2023, that loyalty finally paid off after years of individual excellence overshadowed by team struggles. Kelsey Mitchell got the recognition she so richly deserved when she was chosen as an all-star for the first time in her career. I didn't know what our star would look like for me, but I knew I needed to train and do what I needed to do to keep my name. Like I said, you're in defense mode and everything you do at that point. And I got the first, and I was like, really? You know, I got a call from the WBA, you know, and you get the call, bro, but like you win even hype. You were just like, yeah, I'm going on WBA. Well, hold on, I'm in the locker room like, yeah, did what? Mitchell's focus remained on the team's success even as she celebrated this personal milestone, reflecting on her journey and saying, I always got my back dirty. Yeah, it was never a time like, hey, that's a good one. I always got my back. Let me put that in my pocket. Oh, got my back dirty. Hold on. I've always had to, and you can kind of relate because, you know, you've had to go to different places and, you know, get a spot. For me, it was about keeping my name at least, or my game relevant to, you know, enough to have value. Mitchell achieved new heights in the 2024 season, recording career best overall numbers of 19 games. She has earned every inch of respect, shooting a scorching 46 with 2 goals per game, 40 and 8% from the field. What actually transpired during the 2024 season, and why did it begin with devastation? As Kelsey Mitchell's star continued to rise, a significant personal loss threatened to put an end to her passion for the game. How did she find the strength to not only play but dominate in the league? Mitchell was playing the best basketball of her career, and the league was beginning to take notice. 2% from three-point range. It's been a tough year for me personally. For example, I lost my dad 5 or 6 months ago, so that was difficult. Looking back on my year, I'm glad to be back because I never imagined that I would be doing it without a parent. I believe that anyone who comes from a 2-parent household or knows what that's like, or just lovable parents in general, would know what would happen when I lost that. The 2024 season was supposed to be Mitchell's pinnacle accomplishment, but just as she was preparing for what would become a career-defining year, tragedy struck in March. Kelsey lost her father, a man she described as her original best friend. It wasn't just the loss of a parent, it was also the loss of her greatest supporter, her harshest critic, and the person who had given her a strong love for basketball. As a result, I miss my dad a lot because he was the only one who reminded me of who that was. He was also aggressive and hard on me, but it came to the point where I realized that I don't need anyone to tell me that I don't need or want anyone, because when I needed help, no one could save me. Suddenly, the game that had always been her refuge felt unavoidably difficult, and Mitchell found herself at a crossroads, questioning everything she had worked for. In a heartbreaking confession, she said, I didn't know what would happen next if I was going to play this season, how I was supposed to play this season. We all had a piece torn from us, and we didn't know how it was. The weight of her grief was so great that she seriously considered quitting basketball completely. You know, certain things hit home, and you look back on, and you can't even count the number of hours I put in at the gym because I felt so much pain and trauma. I worried about my mama more. I worried about how she felt now that she didn't have a significant other, and I worried about my siblings. But my brother was overseas. My sister was trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her and 9-to-5 job. And she had gotten into coaching and depended on my dad for some things. Going to look, but this is where Mitchell's story takes a surprising turn. In her darkest moment, she discovered an unexpected lifeline. Her teammates in the Fever locker room came together to support their star player, forming a network that would be vital in the months to come. At the heart of it all was none other than rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. You may be wondering how a rookie could have such an impact on a veteran player, but that's the beauty of team sports. Clark's arrival seemed to infuse the entire Fever organization with new life, and Mitchell was no exception. She was drawn to Clark's contagious enthusiasm and unwavering support. I look better now, gang. I look at our lockers and other stuff every day. I'm here today, so I'll be thankful, man. Listen, I'm in there with you, and I'm telling you, man, you're doing a hell of a job. Sometimes I have to get in, but that comes with the Terry. What would I be if I didn't yank those chains? Well, for some, as Mitchell put it, I had a village of other 11 ladies who would meet in a lot of places that I didn't think I could go. And this sisterhood became her anchor, giving her the courage to return to the court and confront her grief head on. Differently than I would have thought, Mitchell's journey back to basketball wasn't just about finding support from her teammates. She also bravely decided to seek professional help, diving headfirst into therapy. Mitchell shared that there's nothing like laying your problems on people and they don't judge you. This commitment to her mental health became a crucial part of her healing process, allowing her to process her grief while rediscovering her love for the game. So I got therapy, and it was easy. I got with the same miss at the Fever before the season I started, and I took therapy really seriously. As the season went on, something extraordinary started to happen. Mitchell's play on the court took on a new dimension. It was as if she was channeling all of her emotion and pain into every shot, drive, defensive stop, and basketball became both an escape from her grief and a way to honor her father's memory. I did it day by day, and that I got into scripture, and the more I got closer to the word and the purpose, the easier everything got. She posted those career best numbers we discussed earlier, but more than that, she played with a fire and determination that made it impossible to ignore every time she took the court. I'm not lying when I say that I feel like the stick at the bottom of the barrel was kind of like, you're fighting for it, defending whatever legacy you got. I left and trying to figure it out, how to be where we are now. So, oh man, I think we got a chance to do something special. Looking back on the season, Mitchell's gratitude is evident, and I believe it was worthwhile.